The thing that I like most.
The L weaving its way through these quiet winter streets as all the action is inside the raucous Chicago Stadium. Now let's go over to tonight's public address announcer, Tommy Edwards.
Welcome fans to the All-Star Exhibition Game. Let's meet the starters at forward, making his 7th All-Star appearance. And now,
Greetings everyone from Chicago, the host of the 1988 All-Star Game. Alongside the terrific Clark Kellogg and our reporter David Aldridge on the sidelines, I'm Kevin Harlan. And Clark, this terrific city has produced some greats, and 4 of them playing tonight.
You're exactly right, Kevin. The Windy City, Chicago, has produced Mo Cheeks, Isaiah Thomas, Doc Rivers, and Mark Aguirre, all All-Stars. And I'm sure they've got plenty of family and friends in attendance to enjoy their performance on the court.
Yep, so much to celebrate. And Clark, is there a common thread when you think about a Chicago-type player?
Well, I certainly do believe there's a common thread. When playing outside or outdoors in the Windy City, the perimeter shot can easily get blown off course. So you got to be able to get that thing to the rack and in a straight line fashion. And that's something all Chicago players share in common.
A lot of high flyers, you're right. And your West All-Stars, Fat Lever and Magic Johnson, the guards, Alex English and Karl Malone at the forward spots, and in the middle, Hakeem Olajuwon. For the East, it's Moses Malone inside, and Dominique Wilkins with Larry Bird the forwards. And in the backcourt, Isaiah Thomas and Michael Jordan.
And you look at Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, rivals since college. Early on, no love lost between them, but over time, they've become friends.
And Michael Jordan, not only last season's leading scorer by a mile, but Clark Kellogg this season, he is in the running for the Defensive Player of the Year.
He is the true definition of a two-way player. Gets it done at a high level at both ends.
team foul.
Here in the first, a little over a minute played so far. English against Wilkins. It's English with the drive.
I like seeing Malone, a solid defender, get a hand up and challenge the shot.
Jordan finds Thomas. And yep, finally drops after rolling around the rim. Clark. You see Larry and Magic together in those Converse ads. They've become really the faces of the NBA.
And Kevin, I think they've inherited the mantle from the great Dr. J. He's done such a great job representing the league all these years, and certainly he's left it in good hands with those two.
That's a great comparison. And if there was a snub, Clark, for this year's All-Star game, many felt it was the sharpshooter Dale Ellis of the Sonics.
Well, you take a look at what he's done. He's the only top 10 scorer in the NBA who was not an All-Star.
The Tennessee Volunteers should be here. And the Eastern All-Stars favored to win tonight.
Star power and firepower. Veteran IQ and smarts. But you never know. The West has quite a bit of talent, too.
Indeed they do. And an exhibition game with plenty of motivation for these stars nonetheless. For more, let's say hello to David Aldridge.
Thanks very much. Now, I was talking to Larry Bird about his goals for the matchup, and he said, I think our job is to get the ball to Michael Jordan, get him into the game, and get the crowd into the game. So if Bird has anything to do with it, Michael Jordan will be the MVP. And that would be poetic justice this weekend. Guys, back to you.
Especially where we are. Well said, David. Thank you. Jordan Clark, obviously, in front of his hometown crowd. He loves it, and they really love it.
No doubt about it, Kevin. You think about the fans in Chicago. They love basketball. And I can expect, and you can too, a ton of energy, some extra adrenaline anytime Michael touches the ball.
Clark, this city is on fire with Jordan, aren't they? I mean, they love him, and they think about what's to come. My goodness.
Smoking.
Yeah. And Michael Jordan winning the dunk contest yesterday, Clark. Can he add to his trophy case tonight?
Kevin, I think his teammates want to see him win the MVP. I think they're going to give him as many touches as he needs to have a chance to do it.
Ooh, that'll be fun to watch.
Magic Johnson in his 8th All-Star game now, 2nd in All-Star votes this year, and he hosts his own All-Star game in the summer in L.A. as a fundraiser, and I understand it's quite an event.
Clark, and amidst this All-Star celebration, labor negotiations between the players and the NBA continue.
Trying to find their way through this current impasse, Kevin, and looking to avoid any interruptions to this game that we all have a love affair with.
Yeah, I know you and I hope they can find some common ground.
Please make it happen soon.
Here's Wilkins. After the made shot from Alex English, Jordan kicks to Wilkins. Back to Jordan. Clock at 6. Bird, the pass to Jordan. Shoots over Lever. Look at the soft touch of Michael Jordan. And starting last season, Clark, Michael Jordan's scoring went through the roof.
Averaging over 37 points per game, partner, and he's kept close to that pace this season as well. Remarkable.
Amazing and remarkable, right. Wow. He Clark, the record for points in the All-Star game is 42, set by Wilt Chamberlain back in the 1962 All-Star game.
And you know, a lot of Wilt's records seem virtually untouchable, but I don't think that one is. With all these great scores, who knows? It might be broken tonight.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun? Now, here's Johnson. Following the miss by Michael Jordan. Johnson, the pass to Malone. Another spoon-fed basket from Magic.
And making his All-Star debut in his 3rd year in the league, Karl Malone, one of 4 players in the NBA, averaging over 20 points and 10 rebounds a game. Really a tough situation for the defender there. Put him in a pickle. Jordan drives with such force, so it's not surprising he's able to draw the foul.
It's his first trip to the line.
For your East, Michael Jordan. At the line for 2.
Free throw good, Jordan. There's got to be some excitement, maybe even, Clark, some butterflies playing in the All-Star game. You want to prove you belong out there.
I agree with that, and there can also be the temptation to try to do a little too much, maybe get flashy, but with these players still getting a feel for each other in the flow, a lot to be said for making the simple play.
Nevertheless, a great honor. Now here's Drexler. Here's Johnson. Doherty grabs the board.
The defense made an impact right there. Definitely got him uncomfortable going up with it.
Pass to Rivers. Back to Jordan. And not many out there who can elevate like Michael Jordan. And tonight's All-Star MVP will have a $5,000 check presented in their name, Clark, to the Thurgood Marshall Black Education Fund.
A great cause in honor of a terrific American.
And so it's the East All-Stars with their lead standing at 6 points here at the end of the quarter. Their lead is where it is because they've got
14.
Welcome back, everyone, to the 1988 All-Star Game here in Chicago. As these great fans hope Michael Jordan can bring home the win and the MVP hardware.
And the head coach of the East, Mike Fratello, his first time coaching in the All-Star game.
Johnson kicks to Drexler. Michael Jordan grabs the miss.
Boy, he knows he should have knocked that one down, especially with the defense not giving much of an effort.
How about that? Mike's a terrific friend of yours and mine, and Fratello's Hawks recently moved into first place in the East after the Cavs beat the Celtics. Clark enabling him to become the coach of the East All-Stars.
So don't be surprised if the Cavs' Brad Daugherty gets extended minutes in his first All-Star appearance. You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
On the court for the West All-Stars, we've got Johnson. Worthy out there with Abdul-Jabbar. Then it's McDaniel. And it's Drexler in at the 2 guard. And Kareem looking to set the career record for All-Star scoring. Isn't that something?
It really is. Needs just 10 points to do it, Kevin, and you got to love his chances. I mean, that's a layup for him, pun intended.
Yeah, a good one. And that one, good. Jordan's got the lead up to 12 now for the East All-Stars.
He is certainly a dominant player. Michael Jordan, when he's in the zone, unstoppable.
So the timeout taken here, the first for the West All-Stars. The East making a switch. Bird's checked in. The West also making some changes. Olajuwon's checked in for Abdul-Jabbar. Malone comes in for James Worthy. And Aguirre's subbed in for McDaniel. The West trails by 12. And here early, Clark, the East has the edge.
You look at that team on the East squad, an embarrassment of riches, Kevin, and, you know, they've got so many weapons. I think it simply comes down to execution for them. Well, I tell you what, if you wanted the template for the perfect power forward, it might be Karl Malone. I mean, he's got everything you want in the format.
He hits both from the stripe. Just about a minute and a half has gone by here in the second. And there's the pass to Ewing.
The #1 overall pick in 1985, and it was an all-star rookie season for Patrick Ewing. Hurt last year, but nice to see him back where he belongs, right in the all-star game.
Olajuwon goes back up. Good D by Ewing.
It does not get much easier than that, but somehow he came up empty there.
Tremendous pass from Bird. He can do it all.
They can't miss on an absolute tear.
So it's Johnson who brings the ball up for the West. They trail by 14. Some nice passing here by the West. And it's in there. Drexler's got his first bucket in this one. And if there's a rival for the size and athleticism of Michael Jordan, Clark, it might just be Clyde Drexler.
I don't think there's any question about it, Kevin. The Phi Slamma Jamma alum can take flight with the very best of them.
Yep, great athletes.
And Coach Mike Fratello, a colleague of ours, coaching in the All-Star game, standing tall amongst a bunch of tall guys in the NBA. You know, his dad was an amateur boxer, and, you know, I think that background gives Mike a lot of confidence as a coach.
And now let's go over to David Aldridge with a report on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Thank you, Kevin. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the oldest All-Star in history. This is his 17th game. No one else has been in more than 13. To put that into context, there were 6 players in yesterday's Legends game that were younger than Kareem. Magic Johnson says he respects Kareem more than anyone I know because of the pride this man has in whatever he does. Kevin, back to you.
He is a very proud individual. David, thank you. And Kareem's coming out here, Clark, after spending 2 days in bed with strep throat. I mean, it's remarkable.
And, Kevin, that's exactly the pride Magic was talking about, and that's why it seems like every game we do, Kareem is adding to some type of record that he's already established. Tonight, he could very well become the leading scorer in the history of the All-Star game.
Isn't that phenomenal? They call him captain for a reason. He is truly the leader of this entire NBA.
Yes, sir.
And Clark, not easy for these coaches to put their stamp on the game. Only a 1-hour practice yesterday to get acquainted and move through some sets.
And you know, Kevin, it's not about necessarily practice time. A few offensive sets is all that's needed. I think it's how you manage the players and give them a platform to have fun and do what they do.
That's a good point. And Jordan gets it to go.
An effective score from the in-between area of the court. Jordan doing his thing.
The West trails by 10. Timeout called here by the East. They're going to talk it over. We've seen Michael Jordan really having a great game.
You know, that defense is helpless right now. I mean, he's got their number, and he knows it.
And the East All-Stars with some changes. Malone's checked in for Ewing. Wilkins comes in for Danny Ainge. And Isaiah Thomas is subbed in for Rivers. And West also making a switch. Levers checked in for Drexler. Johnson, the pass to Lever. Outside, Aguirre. And Johnson now top of the key. Outside, Lever. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul. It's on Larry Bird.
Constantly applying pressure on the defense. Lever gets himself to the stripe.
This is his first trip to the line tonight.
Lever taking 2 shots.
First one falls for him.
Fat Lever is not the biggest guard, but he makes big impact on the game because he plays with such intensity at both ends of the floor.
Catching up on changes for the West. Donaldson comes in for Elijah Wan. And it's English in for Aguirre.
And you know, so far, I like the effort from both teams. It's an exhibition, but each team showing great pride. They're getting after it.
The East All-Stars have been solid at the line so far. 4 for 4.
You know, there's so much that's amazing to me about Jordan, but his endurance stands out. He consistently gets stronger, it seems, as the game goes on.
And Clark, so much talent for each side, but they got to develop that chemistry on the fly, don't they?
Exactly, and that's what the coaches will be looking for down the stretch. Which group of players really complement one another and give you the best chance to win?
The East leading by 10. There's a minute left to play here in the second quarter. Malone dishes to Jordan. Here's Wilkins, and it's good. Assisting on the play was Jordan. Jordan's got his 5th assist in this one. The West trails by 12. Here's Johnson, and it's good off the back rim and in. Johnson's got 6 points.
Magic Johnson leads the league in assists, and he's also got the most assists in All-Star game history. He processes the game at another level, folks. Hey, the defense has the right idea there, but Jordan has the skills to overcome the contact.
Johnson kicks to Malone. English on the wing. And there's the drive. Played in with a nice touch off the glass.
You know, people said Alex English was too light of frame, too skinny, not athletic enough. Well, how about this? He's playing in his 7th straight All-Star game. So much for being too skinny.
And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Jordan.
In for the West, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Johnson, the pass to English.
Because he's got so many moves in his tool bag, English has so many different ways to get to the foul line.
West All-Stars shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game. And he knocks down the first one.
Alex English at the line for 2.
Both free throws good from English. Here's Jordan. With 1 on the clock, and he gets it to go. Jordan's got 32 points. Clark wide open, high scoring both ways.
These tremendous All-Stars are putting on a tremendous show, Kevin.
What a blast. And so it's Michael Jordan making things happen for the East. And his big game just keeps getting bigger. That quarter sees him get over 30 points. We've got more in store for you right after this. And we welcome you back to the second half of the 1988 All-Star Game here in Chicago. Great performances from these players, whether it's their first time participating or their 17th. The West trails by 10.
You know, you get into the latter stages of the game, and it's normal to wonder who will take home the MVP trophy. It's certainly one of those accolades that's mentioned when you talk about the great ones. How about this list? Players who have never missed an All-Star game in their careers. Jerry West, Bob Pettit, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, and Hakeem Olajuwon. Those last three playing here tonight.
Jordan is out there with Thomas. Then it's Wilkins. Then there's Bird. And it's Malone in at the 5. That's the 5 out there for the East All-Stars. With the fadeaway, Malone can't hit. And of the players in tonight's All-Star game, Clark, 2 have won MVP trophies in this game before. Larry Bird and Isaiah Thomas.
And how about this, Kevin? Thomas has won 2 out of the last 4 years. If he was to get 3 MVPs, that would put him in some rarefied air, tying with Oscar Robertson for second most. Bob Pettit is the only player to do it 4 times.
Here's Jordan. That one falls, coming off of Thomas's feet. Jordan's got 36, and the East with the lead.
Living up to that favored and top billing and giving these fans quite a show.
Passes it to Olajuwon. And Jordan sends it back.
With defensive prowess and nearly a 7-foot wingspan, it's a lot harder to get a clean look on Jordan than most guys.
Enzo English will bring it up for the West All-Stars. It's a 10-point game. Johnson, the pass to English. Back to Johnson. Shot from the wing. Another miss by Olajuwon. Outside, Jordan. Bird lets it go from the baseline and nails it. And Larry Bird winning 3 straight MVP awards from 1983 to 1986.
You know who the last player was to do that?
I'm going back to the 60-something. You tell me.
Yeah,
I know you
Bill
know.
Russell.
Yeah, right,
it's
of
Bill
course.
Russell, 1960 to 63.
Of course. I'm glad we bring him up. A legend.
Yep.
English, no good.
And, you know, most of these guys are accustomed to having their team's offense built around them. It's an adjustment for them now to figure out who's going to get the rock most of the time.
And the shot is good.
I don't know what the heck the defense was thinking there. I mean, he's cast from this area of the floor, and they let him walk into it.
Johnson up top. 8 points for him. Here's Olajuwon. Malone with the block. Johnson against Jordan. Capitalizes off the crossover. Jordan's got 40 points. And you think about adjusting, Clark, how about the all-star reserves? Guys that start normally are the stars of their team, now off the bench on a team of stars.
Kevin, excellent point. For players who are used to starting the game, probably a rare experience coming in off the bench and trying to get it going. But I think these guys so enjoyed being part of this. That sacrifice is not much at all.
You're exactly right. And they double up Jordan. Just over 3.5 minutes through the third quarter of play now. And the basket by Thomas.
And Thomas very capable of knocking down the tray. Got to respect his ability to shoot the long ball.
The West trails by 17.
You know, there's been talk about adding a third referee to NBA games. The commissioner and the rules committee are in favor of it, and they plan to put it before the Board of Governors at the next meeting.
A big group substitution here for the East. Doherty's checked in for Malone. McHale comes in for Larry Bird. Danny Ainge is checked in for Dominique Rokas. And it's Rivers in for Thomas. So an almost entirely new group now for the West. Abdul-Jabbar's checked in for Olajuwon. Worthy comes in for Karl Malone. McDaniels checked in for English. Clyde Drexler has subbed in for Magic Johnson. And Clark, with 3 officials working games, do you think that'll result in more fouls being called, more eyes on the ball? They can pick up a lot more, certainly, with more guys out there.
Yeah, you know, I think, Kevin, it might be the case early on with the third official, but over time, it'll smooth itself out. Off the ball, you know, some things you could get away with in the past, maybe not so much with 3 officials out there.
Abdul-Jabbar and Kareem, the elder statesman. 19 years in the NBA. Decades of dominance. Ainge dishes to Jordan. Baseline try. Michael Jordan now with 42 points, Clark. He has tied the record for scoring in an all-star game.
A piece of history. Boy, is he special.
Pass to Abdul-Jabbar. Shoots from 12. No good there. And the East now will go the other way with it. Outside Jordan. Danny Ainge on the wing. Danny Ainge has developed into an elite marksman.
And Ainge this season has hit a three-pointer in 23 consecutive games. That's an NBA record, and that is his game, making threes.
Lever kicks to Drexler. There's 49 seconds left to play in the third. Here's Worthy. Nice D from McHale. Now the East All-Stars with it. They're on a 20-6 run. Jordan the pass to Doherty. Back to Jordan. Jordan is doubled. To the inside. 6 to shoot. The 11-footer. And it's a new single-game record in scoring for the All-Star game. Set right in front of us by Michael Jordan.
What an incredible athlete, Kevin. And it seems whatever he sets his mind to do, he can do it. Impressive.
Here's Abdul-Jabbar. He can't get that one. Some solid defense from Doherty. Outside Jordan. Here's McHale. Good, and it's Jordan picking up the assist. Jordan's got assist number 10 tonight with that last one. And as we conclude the third quarter, pretty much a blowout. It's been a one-sided affair. East All-Stars ahead, just dominating this one. And coming up as soon as we return. Welcome back to Chicago for the 1988 All-Star Game. The grand finale of what's been a tremendous weekend to celebrate the NBA.
You take a look at the landscape of the NBA, and I tell you what, that Central Division, dominant. How about this? 36 games above 500 combined.
On the court for the West All-Stars, getting the fourth quarter going. Donaldson is out there with Worthy. Then there's Drexler. Then it's Magic Johnson. And it's Aguirre. And at the 3, the small forward. And Magic Johnson, Clark, made it clear coming into this game that he wanted the challenge of defending the great Michael Jordan.
He certainly did, and the West as a team will certainly have their work cut out for him trying to slow that guy down.
That is going to be fun to watch. Drexler up top. Tries again, and he drops that one in.
And the Mavericks' Mark Aguirre actually got married last night. How about that? A big weekend for the DePaul product.
Well, you look at that Central Division, all 6 teams on pace to make the playoffs.
And, you know, Chicago got off to that great start, Kevin. Then they cooled off just a bit. Now tied with Detroit at 3 games behind Atlanta. Those teams are great up, pretty good.
And the foul called on Michael Jordan. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far. A big group substitution here for the East. Ewing's checked in for Doherty. Bird comes in for McHale. Dominique Wilkins, he's checked in for Ainge. And Isaiah Thomas is subbed in for Cheeks. Malone's checked in for the West. And the shot is good from Johnson. Down the stretch here, the East, Clark, out in front.
Getting it done. It's been such a fun game to watch. Entertaining from both sides.
Woo, it sure has been.
Boy, that's an outstanding find by Ewing. It helps that he's as tall as he is because he's able to look over the floor quite cleanly.
Got a piece of it. And so it looks like it'll be still with the West All-Stars.
Got a hand on it, but just couldn't quite reel it in.
So for the West, Olajuwon's checked in for Donaldson, and it's English in for Aguirre. And the West All-Stars have possession. That's tipped, stolen by Thomas. For the finish, and the jam by Isaiah Thomas.
Boy, Zeke is a two-way point guard that does it all.
And so it's Johnson who brings the ball up for the West. He kicks to Olajuwon. Here's Malone. Uses the glass to finish the layup.
And the 6'9" forward, Karl Malone, out of Louisiana Tech, playing for the Utah Jazz. Tonight, he's wearing number 7 to honor the great Pete Maravich, who himself was a 3-time All-Star with the New Orleans Jazz. And Commissioner David Stern in the house tonight. Since taking over 4 years ago, he's done a remarkable job helping guide this league to new unprecedented heights.
Exactly. Wilkins dishes to Jordan. And it's good for 2. Jordan's got 6 points in the quarter.
The touch on Jordan's close-range shots is really outstanding. He almost makes it look simple and easy to score in close like that.
Magic Johnson delivers passes with such pinpoint accuracy. Wow!
And enjoying his finest pro season, Clyde the Glide Drexler making his 2nd All-Star appearance. Worked over the summer with Kiki Vandeweghe to substantially improve his jump shot.
One thing the league has done since Commissioner Stern has taken over Clark is really marketing the league around its stars. And I like that type of strategy.
I agree with you, Kevin, wholeheartedly. And what better time to highlight those great stars than tonight? Amazing talent, compelling personalities. The league is certainly on a great trajectory.
It absolutely is. Here's Jordan. Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws.
Hard not to respect how tough Jordan is inside. Really good at angling his body to pick up the foul call.
Moses Malone. He's checked in for the East. The West All-Stars also with the sub. Lever's checked in. Olajuwon outside. Outside, English. Malone a screen on Wilkins. English finds Malone. Olajuwon trying to break free. And there's Karl Malone on the assist by English. English has got 3 assists in the game.
2 minutes remaining in the game.
Outside Jordan. It's stolen by Lever. Fast break. Here comes the West. Olajuwon left side. Johnson with it. Picked up by Malone. Johnson, the pass to Olajuwon. Olajuwon with incredible footwork for a big man. And Clark, when you look at Hakeem Olajuwon's Houston Rockets, here is a team making a lot of moves.
I tell you what, their trade for Joe Barry Carroll and Sleepy Floyd paying huge dividends. They're certainly on the rise in my mind.
Yeah, a lot of people like those moves. A big group substitution here for the East. Brad Daugherty, he's checked in for Malone. McHale comes in for Larry Bird. Danny Ainge is checked in for Dominique Wilkins. And Cheeks is subbed in for Thomas. So an almost entirely new group now for the West. Donaldson, he's checked in for Olajuwon. Worthy comes in for Karl Malone. McDaniel's checked in for English. And Aguirre's subbed in for Johnson. Clock at 2. Wide open. McDaniel, no good.
Well, I cannot believe he didn't capitalize there. And neither can he.
Pass to Jordan. Over Worthy. Drops one in from the wing. Jordan's got 53.
It's obvious he's looking to continue to attack on offense so this lead can expand.
Lever against Cheeks. Xavier. Now, here is Aguirre. Defense right on him. Here's McDaniel. Sinks the 15-footer. And the 6'8 forward from the Seattle Supersonics, Xavier McDaniel.
Now in year 3, he's got to be excited, making his very first All-Star appearance.
Strong player from Wichita State.
And with this last run, they have shut the door on any chance of a comeback.
Outside, Aguirre. Here's Worthy. Lays it up off the glass. And James Worthy here in Clark, his 3rd All-Star game.
Yeah, I was part of the '82 draft when Worthy was the #1 pick out of North Carolina. He can hurt you on the block as well as in transition.
So refresh our memories. He was #1. Where were you taken?
I was number 8, Kevin.
That's right.
Number 8.
That's right. I knew that. I just wanted you to boast a little bit. Lever up top. And the Eastern All-Stars deliver. The favorites coming in. Clark, they did not disappoint.
Yeah, you looked at that team on paper and you saw they were the stronger team and should have been favored. But you still got to go out and prove it, and they did exactly that.
And so much scoring in that lineup for the East. My goodness, look at those names. That's always going to be tough to stop.
And you factor in the raucous crowd cheering on Michael Jordan, Kevin. No wonder they found that extra gear they needed when it was time to get it done.
That's a good point. This is Kevin Harlan saying thank you for watching. See you next time.